Hi and welcome to today's session. Today we will be discussing the remaining parts of ribosome. We have discussed some aspects of ribosome in the previous video. So the remaining portions we will deal today. So in the previous session we have seen the different subunits of a ribosome. I have mentioned that it has two subunits, smaller and larger subunit. So here the detailed structural details are given in this figure. You can see this is the smaller subunit, and the smaller subunit has different structural regions in it, and we name it differently. This is the base. This region is called the base, and this is the head region. This is the base and this is the head region, and we have a small protrusion here, and this is called the platform, and the region here it is called the cleft. So it has a base, it has a head, a platform and a cleft. Now coming to the larger subunit, this is the larger subunit, and here also we have a region similar to the platform here. So that region we call it as ridge, and the cleft like region here we call it as valley, and the larger protrusion is called central protuberance, and this finger like region is called stalk. So we have a ridge, and the cleft like region we call valley, and the larger protrusion is called central protuberance, and the finger like one is called stalk. So this is how they both align together, or they both assemble together. Smaller and larger subunit assemble like this. So this is another view of the same smaller and larger subunit. This is one view and this is another view. So this is all about their structural details. Now, what is this S? We have several times we have mentioned 70S, 60S, 80S. What are this S? S stands for Swedberg unit. Swedberg unit. This S is the S. So what is this Swedberg unit? It is the unit of centrifugation, that is when including the cell organelles, when we centrifuge these, it is the speed with which they come and sediment. So it determines that how quickly they sink to the depth when centrifuged, and it depends upon the density of the object also. So this is the centrifugation unit. We call it as Swedberg unit, or capital S, represented by capital S. Now coming to the number of ribosomes. Ribosomes may vary in number. It may depend upon the type of cell. The quantity of ribosome depend upon the type of cells. Each type of cells will be having different number of ribosomes. Like bacteria will be having 20,000 or more, yeast will be having 2 lakhs or more, and other mammalian cells will be having much larger amount of ribosomes. So the quantity depends upon the physiological status or physiological ability of the cell to produce proteins. Those cells which are involved in secretions or which produce enzymes or hormones or like that, they will be having more number of ribosomes. And these I think we have discussed in the previous video, so I don't think we have to go into these details again. Now location. Where are these ribosomes found? They may be found either dispersed freely in the cytoplasm, or they may be found as attached forms, attached to endoplasmic reticulum. So two forms are seen in the cell, either freely dispersed or attached. Those which are found freely in the cytoplasm are called cytoribosomes. Those which are found free in the cytoplasm are called cytoribosomes, and they are involved in the synthesis of proteins that work inside the cytosol. The proteins which are needed in the cytosol, they are synthesized by cytoribosomes. And they vary, the number of cytoribosomes vary depending upon the functionality of the cell types. Second type is attached ribosomes. Attached ribosomes are found attached to the surface of endoplasmic reticulum, particularly rough endoplasmic reticulum. And the proteins assembled in these ribosomes are either meant to transport to outside the cell, that is the secretory proteins. Something which has to be secreted are synthesized by ribosomes on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So the proteins which are synthesized by these attached forms are meant to be transported outside the cell or are included in the cell membranes, either of plasma membrane or in some other organelle membranes. So two types of proteins are synthesized by them, either secretory proteins or the proteins which are inserted in some membranes. So if overburdening or stressed condition occurs in endoplasmic reticulum, then the ribosome present on them function improperly, and this improper functioning is characterized by improper folding of proteins. Thus, improper folded proteins will be non-functional. That is one case. If overburdening or stressed condition occurs, then the ribosome will not function properly, and thus the proteins synthesized by them will be improperly folded, and that proteins will be non-functional. So that is all for today. This is all about ribosomes, and from these details you may list down the functions of ribosomes also. So I may not have to go into the detailed details on the functions of ribosomes. So hope you all understood. Thank you.